Hello and welcome to another episode of Mad Science. I'm your host Mathias Malpractice, and today I'll be discussing the no good, terrible, horrible goodies two shoes at the University of sKyGoLd. So the University of sKyGoLd is a rival school to Crimson. It's like a superhero school or something. And basically they have nothing going for them. They have bad academics, they have bad professors, they have bad major choices, they have dumb people, and the only thing they have going for them is a sort of mediocre football team. Now, legally, Crimson has a football rivalry with sKyGoLd, but it's not much of a rivalry, because every year we're like, yeah, they're our rivals, we're gonna beat them, and then every year they completely destroy us. I think last year the score was like 3-48. Not even sure how we got a score of 48, because I'm not entirely sure how football works. But I can tell that's bad. If I was a football fan, I would be fuming. But I'm not a big fan of football, as it turns out. I'm kind of a nerd geek kid, if you couldn't tell by the fact that I'm making a podcast about my life at college, and that I'm an evil biology major. But that's not the point. The point is that I would like football if they let you take school projects into the stadium. But you try to get into the stadium with one of your school projects, and they're like, what's that? And I'm like, it's a anti-disassembling ray that I bought from the evil store. And they're like, you can't bring that into the stadium. It's like, why not? It's like, it's a safety hazard. A safety hazard? Look at the field. There's safety hazards out there. No one wants to watch safe football. If they want to watch safe football, they watch, like, rugby. Like, I hate British people. What is rugby? It's just worse football. Like, bob and weave, guys. Like, if I'm shooting an anti-disassembling ray at you, like, you should simply avoid it. It adds intensity. It adds flavor. It adds spark. Like, I think that we should invent a new form of football where the audience is allowed to fire various types of sci-fi weapons at the football players. And if they die, well, that's their fault. They shouldn't have become a football player. The University of sKyGoLd also has the worst tailgaters known to man. They bring, like, 3-layer, like, massive white tents, and they put them on the edge of campus, and they have, like, chandeliers in the tents, and they drink white wine out of glass with their pinkies out. They're like, looks like we're gonna win this year. It's like, you're not a winner. You go to the University of sKyGoLd, like, that's not some grand accomplishment. Any man or woman or non-binary person with enough money in their pocket could go to sKyGoLd. It's not some status symbol like you think it is. It's just you're rich and you're mean to people. That's all you need to get into sKyGoLd. Not to mention their tailgaters. I thought Crimson University tailgaters were bad, leaving their trash and their difficult to maneuver around trash and their trash attitudes and their mediocre food that's not even worth stealing. No, sKyGoLd, they like glare at you if you even attempt to come near them like you're some vile creature that shouldn't infect their precious little sKyGoLd tailgate. And they always seem to get in your way no matter where you walk, no matter how you're walking, no matter where you go. There's always one of those darn sKyGoLd tailgaters in your way. And they freaking catcall me. They're like, ha, little freak, ha, bad boy, crazy. You know what? That last one hurts. Crazy? I'm not crazy. It's those darn tailgaters that have lost their mind, leaving their trash and painting all my amenities around campus. They're the ones who are crazy. Crazy? I'm not crazy. It's those darn tailgaters that have lost their mind, leaving their trash and paint all for my amenities around campus. They're the ones that are crazy. Crazy? I'm not crazy. And that's not even mentioning their mascot. It's the Hurricane. They go, roll Hurricane, University of sKyGoLd. It's not even that. It's their one good thing that's ever come out of sKyGoLd University, and it's their alumni, the Hurricane. So she was a superhero. She was famous back in the 70s when the mascots were being chosen. And she was a meteorologist who discovered how to, like, atmospherically brew hurricanes. Like, she figured out the exact atmospheric concoction. What she would do is she would put the right chemicals in the air, I think. I'm not entirely sure how she did it. But she would put, like, the right atmospheric conditions in the air, and it would make a hurricane, which, like, I know she's supposed to be a superhero, but I'm not entirely sure how you have the power of hurricanes in your brain, not your hand, because she's not magic. Magic's stupid. Magic doesn't exist. If you have the power of hurricanes in your brain, you choose it to use it for good. Like, I don't know how you're gonna stop a robbery down on Main Street with a hurricane. Especially if it's me, I would just shank you. I'll be so real about that. But point is that she apparently managed to use for good by wiping out some of the enemies of the nation or something like that. Basically, she turned into a national hero overnight. The government was, like, giving her awards and gold stars. She was on TV. She was on talk shows. Basically, she was the sweetheart of the nation. But then, she got shot. The official media report says it was done by a alumni of Crimson University who was jealous or something. But I know what really happened is that the government was not very happy that a woman in power who had the ability to wipe the White House off the map was getting all this fame and popularity. So they, I'll be discussing this conspiracy later on my conspiracy podcast in a more heavily fortified area, because that looks a little bit too much like a red dot on my desk. So I will drop the topic, and for legal reasons, the hurricane was shot by a Crimson University alumni. Anyway, so I think the sniper's gone, but I'm not gonna push it. So I'm just gonna go back to making fun of sKyGoLd University. So what they say at all their football games is "Roll Hurricane," which is the stupidest thing that you could possibly say about hurricanes, because hurricanes don't roll. They swirl, and they suck, and they destroy, and I'll be so real. The Hurricanes do suck. Their mascot is awful. Like, I don't know. It's one of those creepy, like, person mascots. Like, I know that Crimmy looks a little bit funky sometimes, but he's, like, cute, and he's adorable, and, you know, when he's violent, I was like, oh, no one realized he's killing people. It's great. I don't know what the hurricane does. Like, their hurricane mascot just kind of, like, stands there and spins in circles sometimes. It's totally lame, and Crimmy is way better in every way, shape, and form imaginable. Like, you know how many people are excited to see Crimmy whenever he comes out? Has anyone ever been excited to see the hurricane? I don't think so. And get this, they don't even make the hurricane, like, mascots learn basic martial arts. Because, and I know this because when Crimmy attacked the hurricane during the last football game, the hurricane just kind of stood there and took it. Like, Crimmy was, like, tearing, like, their whole costume up, and they're just kind of like, That's totally on them. Oh, it's not morally okay to fight back. Okay, you moral Puritan. That's another thing. They're all snobs, and they're all moral Puritans, holier than thou. Like, get off your high horse. You need to kill people sometimes, like, even for the greater good. Like, I kill people because I'm evil and it's awesome, but, like, sometimes you need to kill people for the greater good, and that's, like, your words. You care about the greater good. I don't. But, like, moral Puritans, it's an agitating thing to hear at any universe, especially if you're at sKyGoLd. One of the other things about the University of sKyGoLd is that it's fairly close to Crimson University. So what happens is when kids go to their school of choice, it often leads to split households where one child would go to sKyGoLd and one child will make the correct choice and go to Crimson University. So you have, like, parents cheering for one football team or the other football team. It's like split household. Brother against brother, cousin against cousin, parent against child. Personally, I know a couple of my friends. So my friend Joshua comes from a family of all sKyGoLd fans, and they're all like, you can't see me, but I made a face when he decided to go to Crimson University instead. I know he made the correct choice, but, you know, you can't convince people who are wrong, especially if they're sKyGoLd fans. There is only one thing I hate more than sKyGoLd fans, and it's, great transition, my advisors. Now, I know all of my advisors. I know they're malpractice majors because I finally looked it up, but they are the most unhelpful people who are supposed to be advising you about what kind of classes you're taking next year. Like, I went to my advisor the other day to, schedule my class so I could take all my classes next year. And they looked at my schedule and they're like, oh, you're taking 2 evil sciences and an evil math next semester? We don't recommend that. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't recommend it? I'm an evil biology major. I am an evil science major. My brother in Christ, point to a semester where I don't have 2 sciences and I'll take my math there. I only have the 1 math. I'll take it there. But I know there isn't a semester where I'm not taking 2 sciences because I've looked at the curriculum. Have you looked at the curriculum? I'm not entirely sure you have. And then it finally comes to registration day, and you need a PIN to log in. It gets reset from a random number to 111111. So, like when you go into the meeting. And then I go to register, and it turns out my PIN hasn't been reset. So I have to manually check what is that? 1 million combinations of numbers to figure out what my PIN reset was. And why would I do it systematically by doing 000000001000002? No, I did it completely randomly. And you know what the answer was? It was 678258. That was somehow the last option I chose. The statistical improbability of that happening is remarkable, and I don't feel like doing the math right now. Clearly, I haven't taken my evil calculus class yet, because it took me a while to get there, but that is literally a 1 in a million chance that the last option I choose would be the correct option. So whenever you say that someone's 1 in a million, just know that I'm your 1 in a million, because I can never guess passwords correctly. It's a curse, but curses aren't real because magic isn't real. Maybe someone is psychologically gaslighting me into choosing the incorrect password each time. Now that's possible, especially with the chemtrail project going around. This is the time of year that all the evil chemistry students and all the evil aviation students get together and put chemtrails in the air. This year, I'm pretty sure the theme is global cooling, as in the opposite of global warming, which is still bad because remember, kids, climate change is bad no matter which direction it is. They want to make a new snowball era of Earth, a new ice age, one might say, make us all go back to our primitive little caveman, putting sticks together to make fire and hunting mammoths, and maybe we'll bring the mammoths back. That's a good idea. I have to look into this more, but I think if I could extract a little bit of DNA from a mammoth and then nurse it into a cell and then have that cell go through mitosis all the times it needs to go to make a mammoth, I think I could resurrect a mammoth and then train them to be war elephants. This is a good idea. I'm writing this down. It could be my final for next semester, because next semester I'm taking Intro to Evil Organismal Biology, so this is really focused on evil organisms, how to make normal organisms evil. So I think resurrecting mammoths to turn them into war elephants would fit right into the curriculum of that class. And besides, you know who doesn't have cool war mammoths? University of sKyGoLd, because they're too mortally upstanding or whatever to resurrect things that are dead. It's not even technically resurrecting. It's just taking DNA that has been frozen in time and then bringing it into a new organism to make it alive. I didn't bring that man back from the dead. I am unextincting it. That's an entirely different thing. Trust me, that's an entirely different thing. I don't even know why they're so uppity about not bringing things from the dead. You know how many students at the University of sKyGoLd have dead parents? It's absurd. And isn't things being alive sort of like a good guy thing? You'd think that of anyone, you would be a good guy if you wanted to bring things back from the dead. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not some morally upstanding citizen like at the University of sKyGoLd, so I don't understand the intense moral complexities of raising things from the dead. You know why I live such a better life than every single one of those University of sKyGoLd students, even if they're richer and nicer and have better monocultural turf lawns than me? It's because I am very morally simple. If I want to do it, I just do it, right? Like, there is no... my morals, my dignity, I just do it. Like, I'm evil because I like to be evil, and it's fun, and it benefits me personally. So, that's my take on the University of sKyGoLd's moral code. Like, you want to know what Crimson University's motto is? It is FS up. I can't say it on this podcast because I don't want to be like demonetized or banned or whatever they do on this YouTube platform. But that is literally our motto. FS up. You know what University of sKyGoLd's motto is? I can't tell you because it's like 20 pages long of like social commentary and moral deliberation and always doing what's right, and it's like that's just a bad motto at that point. Like, geez, cut it into a monologue. Like, it's too long to even be a monologue. Like, are you the president? Are you making a speech to the nations? Like, what are you doing there? And somehow, every single University of sKyGoLd student knows the darn motto. Like, do they have a class where they memorize the motto? Like, I'm not entirely sure where they learned it. I'm not entirely sure who wrote it, but whoever wrote it was probably not doing some University of sKyGoLd approved things such as drinking alcohol or doing the cocaine. So, but that's all my ranting and raving about the University of sKyGoLd and my academic advisors. That is all I have to say on all the matter, besides the fact that hurricanes suck. Go Crimmy! Our mascot's better than your lame hurricane anyway, you dumb tropical storms. But that has been all I have to say. I've been Mathias Malpractice, your resident evil podcaster, and I hope to see all you evil minions again next week. Bye!